Marie Antoinette knew that fashion wasn't just about beauty, it was about power. Every ribbon, every gown, every scandalously high hairstyle was a statement. But what happens when sophistication turns into a threat? The queen turned her wardrobe into a symbol of status so absolute that it made her a target. While the women of the court fought to imitate her outrageously expensive dresses, the people were starving. The result? Her reputation collapsed as quickly as an outfit change at the Paris Opera. Her image became synonymous with luxury and extravagance, but it also sealed her fate. The problem wasn't just what she wore, but what her fashion represented. A dangerous disconnect between the palace and the people. And here's the big question. Elegance can be your greatest ally or your downfall. Do you want your style to open doors or build barriers? Marie Antoinette had an army of dressmakers but forgot the most basic rule of elegance, knowing how to read the room. I'm Carol, an admirer of elegance and passionate about everything related to fashion, etiquette, and power. If you want to use fashion to your advantage and turn your image into a true asset, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and leave a like. And if your elegance needs to go beyond borders, check out my ebook, Be Elegant When Traveling, Global Etiquette for the Sophisticated Traveler. The link is in the first pinned comment. Back to the Queen. Would Marie Antoinette have had a different fate if she had mastered the art of using fashion without becoming a victim of it? When elegance becomes a weapon. Marie Antoinette turned clothing into a battlefield. Her dresses weren't just garments. They were political statements. Every meter of silk and every extravagant ribbon was a clear signal of who was on top and who would be left behind. But when does fashion stop being a status symbol and turn into a burden? The Queen was obsessed with exclusivity. She imported rare fabrics, invented trends that were nearly impossible to copy, and raised the court's fashion standards to absurd levels. The problem? This game wasn't sustainable. The fashion cycle always needs followers and trendsetters, but Marie Antoinette pushed it to the extreme. Everything about her was so expensive, so far removed from the reality of the population, that it stopped being aspirational and became an insult. And here's an interesting fact. Consumer sociology studies show that when an elite creates an unattainable dress code for the majority, it triggers two reactions: desire and resentment. In Marie Antoinette's case, the desire was there, but the resentment was stronger. The court elite tried to copy her, but the political elite began to despise her. Worse yet, the people, who already saw the monarchy as a burden, found in her the perfect symbol to hate. What happened next? Marie Antoinette became the ultimate example of what not to do, using fashion without strategy. She understood the visual impact of her clothing, but ignored the context. As a result, her style, instead of being her shield, became her sentence. And the most curious part? Centuries later, fashion still follows the same logic. When a woman dresses to impress but ignores the setting, the effect can be disastrous. Want a more recent example? Just think of the 2021 Met Gala. While the event was meant to celebrate American fashion, some celebrities showed up in looks completely disconnected from the theme. The result? Instead of admiration, they became memes. What does this teach us? That true elegance isn't about luxury, but about the intelligence to know when and how to use fashion as an ally, when style spins out of control. Marie Antoinette wanted to change court fashion, but changing court fashion meant altering the very structure of social hierarchy. And so, what started as an aesthetic whim became a political problem. She replaced stiff, structured gowns with lighter, more fluid styles like the robe à l'anglaise and the chemise à la reine. This gave her a fresher, more youthful image, but it also sparked a crisis. The aristocracy, which thrived on the idea that clothing should symbolize status and tradition, saw this shift as a threat. How could the Queen, the ultimate symbol of royalty, wear something so simple that even common women could imitate it? Clothing can alter the perception of authority. A study from Northwestern University in the United States found that participants attributed more respect and competence to individuals wearing formal attire compared to casual clothing. So, when Marie Antoinette started appearing in dresses that resembled nightgowns, her image lost strength. She wanted comfort, but without realizing it, she undermined her own position as queen. But if she wanted so badly to break free from court rules, why didn't she simplify everything at once? That's where the paradox lies. While she introduced more fluid, natural styles, she also went to extremes with her hairstyles. Her wigs became bigger, more extravagant, adorned with feathers, jewels, and even miniature ships. Instead of balancing her image, she sent mixed signals. Who was Marie Antoinette? The laid-back queen rejecting noble excess, or the extravagant ruler spending fortunes on useless accessories? This inconsistency was a goldmine for her critics. The people no longer saw a powerful woman, but a frivolous figure disconnected from reality. The nobility, which should have supported her, began to despise her. And history shows that when a public figure loses the respect of both elites and the masses, they are doomed. The most interesting part? This dynamic still exists today. Luxury brands, celebrities, and influencers face the same dilemma. They want to innovate without losing their aura of exclusivity. They want to be admired but not seem out of reach. When they fail to strike this balance, they fall from grace. Marie Antoinette revolutionized fashion, but, in the end, it was fashion that brought her down. When elegance gets out of control, Marie Antoinette didn't understand a fundamental principle of personal image. Fashion isn't just about self-expression, it's about strategy. She wanted to be modern, but forgot that a queen cannot appear too accessible. When her fashion choices started spreading beyond the walls of Versailles, what seemed like a revolution became a problem. The chemise à la reine was the perfect example. It was a lightweight dress, free from the rigid structures of court attire, made of white cotton with a relaxed feel. By today's standards, it would be like a woman swapping a gala gown for a minimalist slip dress at a red carpet event. It seemed innovative, but it had an unintended effect. The dress was so simple that lower-class women began to copy it. And here lies the great dilemma. If anyone can wear it, it ceases to be a status symbol. And Marie Antoinette wasn't the only one to make this mistake. Studies show that people judge someone's competence within a fraction of a second, just by observing their clothing and posture. So, when the queen appeared in a dress that didn't reflect the grandeur of the monarchy, she lost authority before even opening her mouth. But if the chemise made her seem too simple, her other fashion choices caused problems for the opposite reason. Her increasingly outrageous poof hairstyles and astronomical spending on exclusive gowns made the public see her as someone entirely detached from reality. The paradox? She fluctuated between looking too approachable and too untouchable, never finding the balance. And here's the ultimate lesson. Elegance isn't just about wearing beautiful clothes, it's about knowing what your clothing communicates in the right environment. Had Marie Antoinette moderated her fashion choices, she could have used her image to create a genuine connection with the people without losing the respect of the court. But, by overdoing both extremes, she lost both audiences. Centuries later, history keeps repeating itself. Celebrities, luxury brands, and even women in the corporate world face the same challenge. Dressing with power requires balance. And Marie Antoinette? She had everything, except that. What can Marie Antoinette's fashion teach you? Marie Antoinette made many mistakes, but one was fatal, believing that fashion is just about personal style. While she enjoyed changing dresses, her public image was crumbling. She wanted to be innovative, but forgot that anyone in a position of power cannot appear fickle. If a queen changes her style as often as her mood, what does that say about her stability? The result? Her credibility was slowly eroded by her own wardrobe. And the most fascinating part? This logic still holds true today. Well-dressed people are automatically perceived as more trustworthy and competent, but only if their style aligns with their environment. So, if you want to be taken seriously, your image must reinforce the message you want to convey. And here's the big question. Are you using fashion to your advantage or against yourself? Because choosing beautiful clothes isn't enough. What you wear should elevate your status, not diminish it. Not everything that's trendy enhances your image. Not every fashion fad deserves a place in your wardrobe. The secret is balance, respecting what works for you without looking outdated. Marie Antoinette had everything except this awareness. She went from being excessively modern to excessively condemned. And if even a queen can lose everything by failing to use fashion strategically, imagine what that could mean for you. Elegance without strategy is a risk. Marie Antoinette left us with a clear lesson. Elegance without strategy is dangerous. She had access to the finest clothes, the most exclusive fabrics, and the most coveted trends. But all of that became a problem when she lost control of her own image. The real question is, are you in charge of your image? Or are you letting fashion dictate the rules for you? Because her mistake wasn't dressing well, it was not understanding when, where, and how to do it. And in today's world, that lack of strategy is still costly, whether at a social event, at work, or in the way you present yourself every day? And here's another crucial point. What happens when you make an effort to get ready every day even without a specific reason to? Could consistently dressing well impact your posture, self-esteem, and even productivity? Spoiler, yes, and more than you might think. If Marie Antoinette had understood the real impact of her image, her fate might have been different. And what about you? Do you know how to use your appearance to your advantage? Or are you still underestimating the power of getting dressed every day? If you want to discover how small habits can transform the way people see you, watch the video, The Surprising Benefits of Getting Ready Daily. Nobody tells you. The link is on the screen and at the end of the description. And if you want to be more successful and learn how to be elegant, because yes, elegance is profitable, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Comment. Those who don't understand image lose opportunities. If you enjoyed the video, I want to hear your thoughts. In the first pinned comment, I've left several links to elegant products I've handpicked for you.